I propose a toast.
Welcome to your favorite podcast that talks about your favorite game on Smite.
I need a drink.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to On Smite. I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Ryan Karin, and with us this week we have NShadow, Masters ranked solo jouster and community manager for eGr.
What's up, guys? Very happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And is that the right way to say it? Is that how people call it, eGr?
Oh, yeah.
Eager to play, eager to dominate, eager to kill. So, do you want to tell us, just to give people who maybe don't know who you are or who do, who you are and what you do in the Smite community?
Yeah, basically, I have been a streamer for about maybe about a year and a half now. Been very happy with that. You know, always I got into Smite during closed beta, and you know, via DM Brandon kind of introduced me to the game, as well as like Allied. A lot of the people that were, you know, that either still are or were associated with Juice at the time. And, you know, I started playing Smite. I really enjoyed it, decided that it was something that I wanted to really stick with, because I was looking for another game after I used to play Super Smash Brothers Brawl competitively. And I wanted to get into something else that I could, you know, keep doing at a high level, either for entertainment or for my own competitive purposes. And, you know, I found a little bit more of that entertainment side in Smite and started building myself up. So I got started there, and basically I was with the Juice community for a while, streaming under the name NShadow. You know, like you said, you wanted to talk about, I got eventually some like a little bit of differences and a little bit of like unhappiness with the with my overall position there, and I started doing my own thing, built myself up. And then eventually, you know, became the community manager for eGr. Decided that I wanted to do something more in the esports field as well as entertainment. So that's about where I'm at right now. Partnered streamer, stream every day, and you know, Masters and Joust. I really enjoy the 1v1 aspect of Smite as well.
Well, very cool. And we've got a ton more questions. Some from us, some from Reddit. We got a couple call-ins, though. I think you've already answered one of them. But until we get to that, let's go ahead and see.
Hey guys, what's
Kraken?
So, Ragin, what's cracking?
What is cracking? Well, it's been a couple weeks, of course, since the last episode, so there's been a few things. The big one for me is I got my final bits of travel plans done for Smite Worlds in January. Got my event ticket, my plane tickets, got my hotel and my car, so I am all ready to go. I'm just sitting here waiting for January to finally come around so I can go to see Smite Worlds. I didn't get to go in the previous couple years, so this is going to be my first time, and I'm really hyped for it.
Oh, you're going to love it, and hopefully the snow will not keep you at home. I'm flying through Toronto and New York in the middle of January, so I'm gambling a little bit with the weather on that. We will see how it goes, but if it snows in Atlanta, I'll be the one person around who actually knows how to drive in it, so that'll work out well. Let's see, what else have I been doing? I got my Xingqiang mastery done, so I'm back to maximum. Now, after playing him, a lot of those matches were on the bonus weekend, so I've actually only played 6 matches with him. And it's really weird. He's got a great Ares feel. I really feel comfortable playing him. I seem to do really well. Like, I've got a 1.94 KDA average, and yet I'm 1 in 5. So either I'm doing something really wrong and it looks like, you know, I'm doing well but letting the team down, or I just had some bad luck with team draws. I don't know. So I'm sure it's a sucky team.
Well, no, except sometimes those were with team parties, so I wouldn't go that far.
Not allowed to in that case.
But yeah, I definitely like him. I haven't played him since I haven't really played him much since the first nerf, and of course there's another nerf coming, so we'll see about that. I've been playing a little bit more Conquest, which is unusual for me. But the thing I'm really starting to notice, and I offer this up as encouragement to people in the same position as me, where, you know, you're level 30 and you've got a ton of experience, but it's all in arena and assault, and you don't really know how conquest works. I still have to work on my laning phase, absolutely. But when it gets to late game and you start getting into those team fights, especially in, you know, in the middle of the jungle or in the middle of mid lane, that arena experience comes out. And I do very well in the late part of the game. I just need to work on my laning phase. So it's not as steep of a climb, I'm finding, as I was afraid of when I started playing Conquest. Let's see what else. I noticed that there's some new god-specific achievements in the game. I was playing Guan Yu, and I just finished a match and had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, this thing pops up, and it was what was it for? It was for getting, it was for healing 3 people at the same time with full passive on his one. So that was a little weird. And the only other thing is the new Ares card is terrible.
You're a big Ares fan, and you hate it.
I do not like that new Ares card. I'm sorry. I won't even use it as an avatar now. I don't even use the Ares avatar because the face just looks so bad. He looks like a bad Terminator. Yeah. Kind of like an Arnie thing. And that's Chalk's realm, being Arnie. So, yeah. That's about it for me on Smite, I guess, for the last couple weeks. I've talked long enough, I'm sure.
So you wouldn't like them to make an Arnold skin where Ares, when he goes up and ults, he's like, "Get to the chopper!" and he's like swinging around chopper things. Sucks everybody into the chopper blades. No?
Yeah.
So something could be done there. Well, you make my week look pretty lame. Biddy's sick, so he's not here tonight. We did get to play some matches and got a what's it called? The Jolly Roger achievement where we all played pirates.
Oh, I haven't got that yet.
And had to win. That was the scary part. It was like, well,
like, you have to win?
I didn't know you had to win either. Wow.
Yeah, you have to win. I think it's you have to win. We won, but it was scary because like as we're getting ready, like everybody's like, okay, who has what skin that's a pirate? And like no one like had pirate skins for characters they liked playing. And then we also got a stranger danger, and we're like, please have a pirate skin. And he played Sobek and had the pirate. So we got lucky and got that. So that was cool. So that's one of my achievements I now proudly show off. But besides that, just, you know, I'm still working on getting all the masteries. I still have like, I think eight or so gods left to master. So hoping for a double weekend soon to finish that up.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit.
Nice. But that's pretty much it with my week. Been ramping up for our other show, the Shaft, to get our 5-year anniversary show going and getting some call-ins from some folks. So looking forward to that on Saturday. But that's about my week. NShadow, how about you? How was your week this week?
It's been going very well. Been, focusing up on my content production and stuff, and been making sure that I'm, firing on all fronts, and it's been going well. I re-achieved the 5th spot on the joust ladder, which, somewhat matters to me. Not too much. I don't really strive. I don't want to try to be number 1 on it so badly, but it's kind of cool to go up a number. So, so yeah, there's that.
we look up on you from afar and just we're not first world problems up there. Yeah.
So and do you stream on a regular schedule or just as you can?
Yeah, it's mostly as I can. I mean, I live at home with my mom and my family still right now. I'm only 21, so it's a little rough for me to dedicate an exact schedule and stuff. I also have my girlfriend, and I kind of work around her work schedules because hers is constantly changing and stuff. So unfortunately, yeah, I don't have that much of a solidified schedule. But I'd say most nights from probably 9 to 1 or something are almost definitely times you can catch me. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you got to have a lot of fans in the chat room who are saying your stream's awesome. So if you haven't caught it yet, everybody should catch it. And what is your stream on Twitch?
Thank you, guys. It's twitch.tv/NShadow.
So go over there, even if he's not streaming now, obviously, but go over there and follow so you'll know the next time he streams.
Thank you.
Get that all set up. It looks like we had some
random news of the week too here. The Odyssey has started. I know that. I bought the Cuckoo skin.
Yeah, great. I love the look of it. I hate the voice pack. Voice pack. It's actually, they've managed to come up with a voice pack worse than the Solstice Hell.
Yeah.
That's actually an achievement in a sense. So that is definitely one I'm going to be turning to just use the regular skin voice.
It's sad. I love it because it just sounds like just crazy Snake Man. Like he's just going crazy. And I love it.
Well, I guess I'm of the wrong age to really be into Pokemon, which this is obviously scaled after or modeled after. So yeah, it just doesn't quite do it for me. I like the look of it, the nice little cartoony, very bright. It looks great. It's just yeah.
Just don't mention the Pokemon thing. We don't want to get pulled.
Yeah.
We'll just pretend it's something else.
That's what I'm wondering about the skin itself, if it's going to get pulled, you know?
Yeah, they had that before on which one? I think
the Bastet, I think it's called like the Nightcrawler skin or something. It was the
like Catwoman. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of skirting some, there's some games that can get away with it because they use their own artwork. Like WoW does it a lot of times with names, and you know who they're talking about, but when you get the artwork down to exactly who it is, and you see that, and you know who it is without seeing a name, is when it you got to start asking for permission.
Right.
Well, and I don't think that's the case with this.
Right.
I mean, I'm no Pokemon expert. I don't think it's specifically modeled on one specific Pokemon, but
it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Okay.
Have you seen him? He's.
I haven't seen the Pokemon. I don't play Pokemon, so I don't know.
I see. Yeah, he's pretty similar. Pretty
okay.
At least he doesn't come out of like a red and white ball or something.
Yeah. And what a lot of people have been saying is that the Pokemon that he's based off of is actually it's Rayquaza. He's based off of I cannot pronounce the god's name, but like Quetzalcoatl, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, whatever Kukulkan is supposed to be based off of. So there's actually some like lore there, so they might be able to get away with that.
Huh. Yeah, I believe Quetzalcoatl is just the Aztec, whereas Kukulkan is the Mayan.
Right, exactly. So if that's the kind of model that he would look like in the Aztec kind of thing, then they have some room to work with, because that's what that guy was actually modeled after, the Rayquaza guy. So
yeah. And maybe they're going to start kind of reaching out to some of these companies and just saying, hey, let's do kind of a cross promotion.
That would be really cool, right? Yeah.
Also, I think you did some math here, didn't you, Ragin?
Yeah, I did. Well, Hi-Res Stu, he put out on Twitter, he actually mentioned that the maximum price for the entire Odyssey is going to be 5,600 gems. Now, there was a lot of grumbling about the Odyssey coming out because they already did Summer of Smite. And what they've done is actually they've split the last Odyssey and they just broke it into two, because the last Odyssey was 2,100 or 21 items at about 400 gems an item. And so now they did the 7 as Summer of Smite, and now another 14 as Odyssey. So it's really the same number of skins you're having to buy. It's just that now there's 2 top-end rewards, and if you didn't want the one, you can still get the other. Right. So yeah, 5,600 gems, that's about $70 if you're buying the 8,000 gems for $100. So of course, it depends on everyone's finances, but for the amount of stuff that you get with the Odyssey, all the chest rolls, all the bonus items, I don't know, it's up to you, but I certainly am going to be participating. I would have been participating even if Hi-Res hadn't been quite so generous with us. Yeah, so I think it's reasonable. I was personally a little concerned about maybe them overreaching by having an Odyssey and the Summer of Smite and the SPL fantasy points thing, but that was really cheap, so you don't really factor that in. Well, yeah, I think it's all right.
And if you look at it, I mean, it's a free-to-play game, so they've got to make money somewhere, and this is kind of like buying a collector's edition expansion once a year.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and they're really cool. I mean, you can't pass them up, a lot of them, right? So I have no problem with it. I mean, it's rough sometimes, but there are other ways to acquire gems too, which I think is really cool. A lot of community-driven events and things that you can participate in. Yeah, hopefully everybody that wants to can participate. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like the third item so far is hinted at Nuwa or Shangha?
Yeah, it's definitely Chinese, and it's definitely a woman. It's either Chang'e or Nuwa, and it looks like she's wearing like a spacesuit, like a helmet or something. That's all I've seen is just like this black and white of the head. It's on the website now. Maybe it's been leaked elsewhere. I don't know. I do know that there's another skin. I don't think it's Odyssey related, but they put it on Twitter. It's going to be a new chalk skin that's a lot like the Ares World Championship last year. It's for the Brazil regionals, and it's on his shield, and it looks a lot like just a tier 2 skin in terms of it. It really looks like chalk, but just with a lot of extra feathers and that sort of thing. So that looks pretty cool too.
And like the other ones, they have the progress rewards. So after you buy 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 items, you'll get another item for free. Plus, each item you buy, I believe you get a chest, which can have more items in it. Don't do like I did. I think I messed up. I went and started buying chests with my gems. So I forgot you buy the items. And I was like, oh, man. So I got a bunch of crappy avatars. I'm like the Avatar King. Like I bought a bunch of avatars by accident because I thought they were god skins. I'm apparently a moron when it comes to spending gems. But that's how it goes sometimes. There's no word yet on the final completion prize, except for it's going to be another epic skin. This will be the second one. The last one was the Thanatos one. Do you want to make any predictions on who's it going to be?
I have no idea.
Somebody in my chat today was saying that it would be amazing if it was Naja and like he grew older. Could you imagine? Yeah, that could be something. I don't know if they'd actually do it, but that'd be pretty amazing. Yeah.
You're not even gonna give a guess, Ragin? We're putting, putting money on this. We'll have to buy each other drinks when you come down for the
anxiety.
No idea.
You got to throw something out there. I'm going to say Zeus.
You're going to say Zeus?
With the reward.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of something that would be, really good character specific and have that kind of morphing. And I guess maybe there's no guarantee it's going to morph like the Thanatos one does. But I mean, that Thanatos one was just, it fits the character. That progression works really well. I can't think of something really good to do of that nature with any other god.
Right.
It'd be Kukulkan because they've already done 2 Kukulkan skins for the World Championships. There's the Void Worm one for being in the Fantasy Points draft, and then there's the one that was just released. So
that's a good point. They do when it comes to the world stuff, they do sometimes kind of hit the Chinese gods a little heavy. So maybe look at some of the Chinese gods, like who would be a good one. But anyway, since you're not going to give an answer, we'll just move on.
Well, here we've got a couple of predictions from the chat. We've got someone saying Cupid would be another one for getting older. So that would be I don't know. I don't think I want to see a grown-up Cupid running around. That's Huncules is bad enough. Thank you. So yeah, I'm not going to go with that. Yeah. Anyways,
just nothing. And I'm wondering if there's like any hints like on the website that we just haven't noticed yet.
I know that obviously it's not going to be one that is already in the Odyssey, right? So at least you can narrow it based on that. So if they're getting a skin in the Odyssey, then you know it's not them. So there are ways to at least narrow it, and it's probably not going to be somebody that just got a big skin in Summer of Smite. So yeah,
there is a silhouette of a male adult human god. It as a placeholder, but again, is that actually a hint or that with the most generic silhouette?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's the silhouette that's there is male and adult and human. Like it's not one of the an animal head like the Egyptian gods or anything like that.
Right. And the Egyptian gods are the last ones in the list of rewards, if that matters.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think it does because last time wasn't it the Mayans were last and it was Thanatos. So and the Greeks were first. So if we were gonna take that approach, it would actually be a Mayan god this time around.
Huh. or the Viking boat at the bottom. Is that anything?
I think that's just the ship we're all sailing around in.
Yeah.
Well, so they're doing a lot of pirate stuff. Maybe it'll be a super pirate themed skin. Don't they need to come out with one more? No.
Are there 5 right now exactly 5 for a team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
And one in each of the 5 roles. So
Right.
They very carefully balanced that out.
Yeah.
So maybe not there. Okay, well, we got a lot more to talk about, so we'll, I'm sure, be discussing that more in future shows. Adventure Weekend. What's this?
This is, in addition to the usual that they do for, come play on the weekend, get all the double XP and Worshippers. This time they're throwing a bit of spin on it, trying to encourage you to get your friends on and play as a team. So it's double XP and Worshippers if you're in a party of 2. And it's triple if you are in a party of 3 or more.
What?
Plus, there is boosters to get. And if you get 5 first wins of the day, and they don't say if that all has to be in the same day or if it can be spread across 3 days, but they say with 5 first wins of the day, you get a free Odyssey chest roll. Now, that's not a free Odyssey item. That's a free roll of the Odyssey chest. So,
Right.
But still, it's a really generous weekend. And if you've got that god that you just want to grind out to get the mastery, or you've got that god that you're level 8 and you really want that diamond, get a couple friends on and start playing this weekend.
Yeah, this sounds like the weekend. So everybody be there. We'll all get some games in. Also, I noticed you put down there's only 750 world tickets left.
Yeah, and they seem to be selling about 100 a week, so that means in a couple months they'll all be gone. So if you want to come join me there, you might want to get on that.
Yeah, and there is a chance sometimes they put more tickets out when they do sell out, but I would not rely on that. Get your tickets early just to be sure. I haven't gotten mine yet, but I need to. Hopefully that means I have 7 weeks to, make it up. I'll get $15 a week and put it aside.
Yeah.
Something like that. Also, they leaked a card for the Brazil regionals. It's a chalk skin, so we can take him out of the running, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, that was that one I was talking about.
Did you see that Alquang skin that was leaked? I don't know if it's like completely legit or not, but it was leaked on that what's it called, data mining.
No,
It's like a dragon, like dragon master Alquang, and he's like full clad in armor, and like the dragon is like a really like mystical looking dragon. It looks pretty sick actually. I'm excited for that. Yeah.
I wonder if that would be that would be a good
that's what I was
progressional.
thinking, honestly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I doubt that the progressional they'd let get out that soon. So
Well, I think they obviously know that data mining happens.
Yeah.
So you never know what they're going to put in there, and just to get the hype up, right?
that is true. Yeah, that's true.
We will see. But until then, let's go on to this next segment.
Patch of the Pantheons.
Woohoo!
Well, that sound effect is very fitting for this upcoming patch.
Isn't it? You want to talk about this?
I can, and NShadow certainly been tweeting a lot about this as well. And she's not out yet, the new god that's coming in the patch, which the patch notes were just yesterday. So a new mage named Saul, who may take the most over-sexualized female award away from Neith. It's pretty ridiculous. She's basically a naked firewoman, and with similar body proportions to other female game, except for Skilla. Yeah, it's, to be honest, I haven't even paid any attention to the gameplay aspects of it, because there's so much controversy about, does she really have to look like this? Does she really have to be naked? They're going for a fire elemental look, but it's a little ridiculous, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think the same. And I mean, even if for a fire elemental thing, like they wanted to do something similar like they did with the Agni skin, where, he's like basically naked too. It's just the proportions of the body types are so so static, the exact same types for all of these female gods, goddesses over and over and over, that really, creates the problem. And of course, that this one that happens to be naked has some of the most ridiculous proportions of all is, not really a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I always try to go back to, I know a lot of their artists are female, so I assume they're giving their input in there. And who knows? I don't know. I've only seen one picture, so I'm gonna hold comments.
I saw a really good comment on it, and it goes very similar to what NShadow just said. It was, and I believe it was one of the female high-res employees made the comment. It's one thing to, yeah, okay, sex sells, make it sexy, but why does every female character have to be the exact same form of sexy?
Right.
Everybody's got different tastes, and yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of people say, like I was making a lot of posts about, like it's in the lore, or like everybody will always say, like these goddesses were meant to be like the epitome of beauty or whatever, and like if that's what we're saying is the epitome of beauty, is this exact same body frame in every single goddess, then that's pretty problematic in and of itself, right? So yeah, I think it's definitely not sending out the right kind of message.
So do y'all think they'll change it? I mean, how big is the backlash right now?
I doubt they will, honestly. There's been backlash for so many of the goddesses so far, and it doesn't seem like they are taking it into account.
Yeah. Well, and the odd thing to me is sex does sell, but honestly, like I don't find myself like deciding to buy skins or gods. I mean, I have the god pack, so it doesn't matter. But in this type of game, I don't find myself gravitating towards that. Right? It's more, what do I have fun playing? And hopefully someone else will, pick that god.
Yeah. And I mean, from a gameplay aspect, she looks interesting. She's kind of like a mix between Agni and Poseidon, in that she's very attack speed based. Or maybe a better one would be Agni Freya comparison, that you use her attack speed. It seems like she's another mage that you might actually want to put a Fatalis on to get her attack speed up. So that sort of half carry, half hunter, half mage, which is a little bit different, because I think the only one I would say is currently in that category is Freya, but she's more assassin than hunter, in my opinion. So that could be interesting. It'll be weird to see where she is. From reading the stats, I'm guessing she's grossly overpowered at release, like they all are, except for Ravana. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And one interesting thing that I noticed is, again, I do the math in my head. She is now God 70, which means if you're on Mastery 60 and relying on that to have the maximum level avatar, you got some work to do this weekend. That's Fortunately, true. It's the right weekend to do it, because we're going to get the 70 god released for our avatars.
What's the highest avatar they have released?
60 so far, because they released them in 10s.
Right, so, but I thought they already had like 70, 80, and like 90 or something.
Oh, they had them loaded for a while, and people just immediately laughed at it, so they took them out. And now it's actually you can't even put a lower one. Like once you move from 50 to 60, they take the 50 away. You only have the 60 available. So
oh wow, I didn't even realize that. That's important to them, which is it's one of the things we talk about kind of back and forth about the whole worshipers and masteries, and is it a good thing or a bad thing? And I've kind of gone back again these past couple weeks. I really and kind of changed my mind about it. Like I used to think that it was okay, and I kind of started agreeing with y'all where it's like, okay, it's good to learn these other gods, and then you can play better against them. But I really don't have much time to play Smite as much. Like, I play a couple times a night, and so I just don't have that much time to dedicate to like level everything up. So what I'm finding is, as I'm trying to master all the gods, I'm now to the set of gods that I don't like playing. I'm not good at. They're all hunters. I'm just not good at them, and I don't enjoy playing them. And so my experience with the game has really taken a hit over the past few weeks. And not only do I find myself losing more, I find it not as enjoyable, and I really just want to play the god. Like, I want to go play Amir. Like, he's my favorite god. And when I get him in Assault, somebody traded me I forget who I had, but they sent me a trade request, and it was, Amir popped up, and I was like, yes! I was like shouting. I was so excited. Yeah. And so I don't know. I find myself back to thinking that I don't really like that system so much. But
that's true, because sorry.
No. I was just gonna say. I mean, I did the same thing with the assassins, because there's no assassin in this game I like, and yeah, it was the same sort of thing. I just suffered through it. Now, one big difference that I did differently than you is I did all of my masteries before I had anyone higher than 3. Like, I didn't have my Diamond Ares yet, and then go and try and play all these characters. I got on full mastery back when I think it was only 48 or 49. So
it's kind of easier to keep up.
It's easy to keep on top of it now. New God comes out. I wait a week for the auto locks to stop. And then, if it's available, I pick it and I play it. And I mostly just do it in arena or 3v3. And just go from there. And it's easy to keep on top once you're there. But I imagine it's really intimidating now, especially if you're a new player and you have to do this with 70 gods.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to do.
Well, what about you, Shadow? Do you have them all maxed out, or are there certain ones you play?
I get a little lazy, so I have like the last maybe 3 gods are missing for me, and that gets a little bothersome because one of the systems that I do in my stream to make sure that I'm more involved with my chat and everything is, like, if somebody subs, they request the god that I play in the next game. And sometimes if I don't have that god mastered, I'm just like, well, but can you pick another one? But yeah, I think that's true. You were saying that if you just treat it almost like a chore, right? Like, the new god's out. All right, set aside some time, master him, get it over with, whether it's the class you kind of like to play or not, get it out of the way, and there you go, you have him. Yeah. But it's true. I mean, it is kind of unfortunate that if you're trying to stay on top of all the masteries, you don't get to play the way that the game really, you want it to be tailored to you, right? Like, yeah, you kind of have the whole point of these classes is that, you have your specific class that you like to play. And that's your role for the most part. And that's even funny because that's what you find with pro players. Like, if you ever watch some of the pro players, like MLC Stealth, I've noticed, does not have a lot of masteries. He only masters the mid gods that he wants to play. And, that's kind of the position he's awarded himself because he's on a pro team. All he has to play are the mid gods. But yeah, it puts you in a difficult situation when you don't really want to play every single god, but you feel the pressure to. Yeah.
Well, and I imagine for you, it's extremely difficult to do that because so many gods are just useless in joust.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah.
You're not going to go out there with the mirror.
But no.
Yeah. I had to make a new clause because everyone kept picking. They would sub and be like, pick Kumba. And I'm like, don't pick Kumba anymore, guys. I had to eventually be like, if you really want to see Kumba, like, you have to donate. Like, I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to just say like, all right, give me donations, guys, but I'm just saying I can't do it anymore. Every other game, I'm getting Kumba here. My elo is dropping.
And other people can start unsubbing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's actually true, though, because people, they watch for both a competitive value as well. And if I keep getting the same god that I cannot possibly win on, there's no competitive value. So, yeah, it's a good point.
Eventually, you have to just have, like, a night where, okay, this is the night I'm doing those.
Yeah, that's true. I've considered it. Yeah.
Competitive nights. But that's awesome that you do that. That sounds like some fun interaction with the chat room and sponsors and stuff.
It'd be nice for doing something like that if they went back to having a casual joust.
Yes, yeah, that's actually a point. Yeah.
What's your opinion on that? Because I've done my 10 matches just to get my qualifying. I'm bronze 3, woohoo! Which is, I'm surprised it's that high. But I mean, it's really frustrating because I knew going into it, I can't practice. and I'm going to be playing people, mostly just other people qualifying. But I found it very frustrating that I was going into League right off the bat. I had done a couple of jousts back when it was still casual, but I was still a complete noob back then. Not that I'm any kind of pro now, but at least now I think I would do okay in a casual joust. But as soon as you put that League on it, it's serious business. Nobody's playing any god other than their best, and it was a real barrier for me to get in. And I really, again, talking about chores, I really didn't enjoy doing the 10 matches to get it.
Right.
So, do you think that would help, or do you think, it would take away from the pool, and you would have an even smaller talent pool to get matched against?
Well, honestly, I think that they should implement the casual joust queue again, because it's it's so polarized right now, League Joust, in that there are like maybe 10 very viable gods that if you're playing against, you're at a severe disadvantage if you're using anything else that's not viable. That's why it's kind of a big reason why I made my tier list and I regularly update it, because people want to know what they can go in and play without having a bad time. They don't want to go in, pick this god, and then find out they're irrelevant. Like, you're gonna lose. So it's if you want to be able to play whatever you want, they should be able to do that, and it would increase the player pool overall for Joust, because people don't want to just pick those same gods. Either they're not interested in those gods, they think the strategies you have to employ are cheesy and things, and if they just want to have fun and not have them judged on a number and just queue Joust whenever they choose, I think a casual one would definitely increase the player pool. I would definitely play it a lot, like I said, for the sub picks and stuff, and just for fun times. So I'm a little surprised that they actually haven't brought it back yet.
Stop the whole show. That was great. We normally don't get good answers, so that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, way to compliment all our other guests.
I meant from us. Like when we're talking, the guests are awesome.
Well, it's having people like you on the show is such a huge difference from us, because we play arena and assault, and that's our thing. We're team fighters. That's what we're in the game for. So getting these statistics about, or getting these opinions about Joust and Conquest from people who play those a lot, adds a lot with it.
Yeah, and we had some great questions, or at least I pulled one so far. We'll get some more while you're talking though. So let's move on to next segment.
I have a message for you. Gotta go fast. Whoosh! Yeah! We got mail. Let's take a look at Mercury's mail sack. Let's go.
Mercury's mail sack, where we get to your call-ins, your emails, and your Reddit questions. I'm going to start with a question from the Reddit. This is from Hope Within Chaos, who asks, do you think they should restrict certain items for 1v1 joust like they've done for Assault?
Yeah, actually, I think that would be probably a big help. It's kind of weird that the way that they look at Joust right now, right? Because it seems like so little effort goes into thinking about balancing Joust, right? Because obviously it's been a long time since the game mode has seen any real change, of course, other than the the upcoming big overhaul for it. But then there was one thing that they did that I found really strange, because they had not made any changes to the game mode whatsoever in a while. Then they were just like, you know what, we're removing Crusher from Joust. It hadn't actually been seeing too much, like, too much. I guess what it would be is a backdooring tool, right? Because it allows you to take structures more easily. But it hadn't actually seen that much of an imbalance in the game mode. It hadn't created that yet, and that was just like an instant thing. I don't know. Maybe somebody at high res had just clicked, and like somebody there was playing Joust, and they're like, "Well, this item doesn't seem right." But I wish more time did go into thinking about that. It would help a lot. There's like Shield of the Underworld right now is a particular item that in a 1v1 setting in Conquest, you can ignore the guy with shield on him, or you can you can divert attention or something. You do a little bit to disengage at the time, but in Joust you can pop shield and run at someone and attack them until they're dead, and they can't really do much about it on some of these like hyper aggressive gods. So that's one aspect of the game mode that I think could really be looked at a lot more deeply.
Well, and that kind of leads to a little bit of the next question. what do you think the popular build will be with changes to both shoes of Magi and Focus?
Yeah, it's a little interesting actually. I think that added power to the pen boots because they added like 5 more power or something to it. I think along with this change. Yeah, I think that along with the fact that it gives you pen is so valuable that I think that's still going to be the more the bigger focus, but. However, some of those gods like Chang'e, Hell, they're going to benefit a little bit more from the buff to the cooldown boots. So some of the gods that you want to prioritize cooldown on are going to see a little bit of a better time overall. I think it's a good change overall, honestly. I think it helps the gods that need the cooldown immediately, and it balances out the pen boots as well. So it's, I thought it was a great change.
And I've got a question. You may not want to answer this, but when you log in and you see that god flip over for the other side, which one do you fear the most to see?
Well, at the top of ranked, actually, one of the hardest gods to fight, top of ranked joust, would be Ho Yi, actually, because he's seen as such like a underwhelming god in Conquest, right? Because first of all, the bounce shots are incredibly difficult to line up well in Conquest. The lanes are huge, so it's very hard to calculate for the timing of the bounces going back and forth. And there's just not all these narrow passageways. In Joust, it's a much more narrowed out lane, and you can always look to combo just the one guy in front of you. You don't have to think about all the other enemies. So Ho Yi is actually a very, very scary threat in Joust, and now they buffed him again in the most recent patch. So I'm not looking forward to it. He's going to be banned a lot more often. Yeah.
And do you see that as they're balancing the game? Like, I know they say they try to balance it for all modes, but I still feel like they kind of balance it mostly towards Conquest. Do you find some changes that do impact Joust a lot more than Conquest?
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely not. I don't think, other than that Crusher being removed from Joust that one random time, it doesn't seem like any thought has actually gone into balancing the specific game mode. So it's really kind of unfortunate because I used to talk to Dry Bear a lot about the changes that I'd like to see in Joust. He was very accommodating. He knew that I was one of the top Joust players, and he was like, "I want to hear from you. I want to hear like what you need." And then Dry Bear had to go and
go to Paladins.
Yeah, so I kind of lost my in, and he was talking a lot about it. He never really got to implement them. I'm sure it was because he's been, he's always a busy guy, and he was also transitioning into working on Paladins. But yeah, I would love to see just more. Hi-Res is so big on feedback. They do so much with community input, but the problem is they only do it with the other game modes. Joust is like the abandoned child of the group.
Right.
It's like you can't forgotten. Yeah.
We can't even do practice Joust anymore against Robot. They took that away from me.
Wait,
that was my favorite thing when I'd had a bad day. Come home, throw on Robot, beat the crap out of him.
Really? You can't do it? Oh,
nope.
My God,
Best you can do 3v3, and you can do that practice, and then it's you and 2 bots who are useless against 3 bots who are useless, and you get all the kills anyway. So, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as Robot.
That type of thing is worrying me as well, because with this new map that's coming out, they're talking about balance changes and stuff for Joust, and they only say 3v3 Joust every time. They're like, new changes coming to 3v3 Joust, big balance for 3v3 Joust. I don't see any mention of actual 1v1, which is the ranked game mode. So you would think the game mode that they have a ranking system for, that is supposed to be more competitive, would be what they're looking for to balance. But I'm kind of thinking Joust is getting the shaft here, because it's not it's not in any of these tweets about the upcoming game mode. So I'm a little worried.
And actually, all that leads to both these other 2 questions here. Bicoastal Shrimp wants to know, what changes would you like to see in Joust to further balance the game mode?
Definitely a less of a focus on backdooring. A lot of the problem that people have with Joust is that there's not enough not enough focus on skill. A lot of it is just the strategy of trying to get somebody's objectives down before the enemy player does. People will draft things like Bakasura, Kali, ADCs that are able to take down structures easily, and they'll just go with that kind of a focus. Even Bastet, of course. and they'll go straight for the structures. They'll ignore the opponent and do that. I would like to see some sort of change where if your opponent is still alive, your structures gain some more protections or something. You know, that way ensuring that you actually have to kill your opponent to ensure that you can then go on and take something off of it. Because if you haven't killed your opponent, you haven't won. There's no reward you should be getting. You know, you shouldn't be able to ignore the opponent, see that they're going for a buff, and go take down their structures. It should be more about fighting,
right?
On fighting and not on the objectives.
Would it make the game last too long if you made it something like every time you killed the other player, an objective lost, you know, a certain percentage of health?
No, I honestly think that kind of thing would work well too. Really, I think that what Hi-Rez was trying out at one of the lands recently, was it Worlds where they were actually doing the 1v1 tournament, or was that at the Summer LAN? I can't remember. Remember when like everybody was now everybody's playing on stage, like Incon and all the pros were actually entered into a 1v1 tournament. I can't remember which event it was, but they were doing first to 3 kills or first to take the enemy tower wins. I think that makes it a little too short and a little too much emphasis on the early game kind of snowbally gods. Right. There should be some sort of comeback factor, but that's a good way to look at it, you know, more of emphasis on fighting and not just passively farming until you're level 20 and can, you know, outscale the enemy. So
yeah, I mean, it's always that like last minute they've kind of built this two-prong issue where you get more powerful at the end and the death timers are longer. Yes. So all of a sudden you die at the end, 1 death to some guy's 10 deaths, and they can take down your towers in Phoenix, and now you're handicapped, and it takes so much to come back from something like that. Like, so maybe if they just made it where one of those didn't scale, like maybe the death timers didn't scale that much.
Yeah, maybe it's tough because I can't tell you how many times I've been like up against someone like 5-0 on like tier, say a god that doesn't have much objective secure for the tower because he's melee. The melee gods right now can't poke out a Phoenix effectively, so they have to try to find some way to justify that, and it's very difficult. I understand, but I wish there was more effort going into it. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's also, I guess, talking about the new Joust map. Spiff Sinister wants to know when the new Joust map comes out. Will you remember to eat after playing for 32 hours straight? Sounds like a story here.
As long as there actually is a 1v1 game mode, like I said, I'm very worried. I might just be paranoid, but I feel like there is some bad news coming for the game mode. It might not be one of the top performing game modes anymore. A lot of people don't want to touch it because of how imbalanced it is, and you know, sometimes the easier option than for a company to put time into making sure that the game mode is functioning properly is, you know, to say maybe we shouldn't deal with it at all, and that's my worry. They might
domination.
Yeah, they might focus on 3v3 joust, which is probably a lot more popular. And yeah, I don't know, man. I would lose my place a little bit. So
then we all got to start making friends. Well, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
We'll join you.
Yes, there we go.
Well, 3v3 is one of my favorites, especially partly because it's easy to get a party of 3 going, and it's just, you know, what I like to play and what Team Party likes to play. So it's usually when I'm with them, we do quite a bit of 3v3. So
yeah, it's definitely a great game mode. I love it. I just hope that the 2 can coexist, you know?
Yeah.
And Ares is overpowered in 3v3, which is nice too.
Well, those were the only serious questions on the Reddit. So let's get to a couple call-ins. One I think you already answered, but I numbered them and didn't name them, so I don't know what they are. So we'll find out what this call is right now.
Hey, Shadow, it's Lydia. Has there ever been something the community has said that made you roll your eyes?
And I don't know if you can hear that. It was kind of choppy.
I got it, right? Okay. She said anything that the community has said that made you really, like, get a rise out of you, I guess?
Or roll your eye, make you roll your eyes.
Roll your eyes. Oh, yeah, a big thing that a lot of people that'll like come into my chat. You know, I'm a community manager, so a lot of what I do is try to be as open and accepting to all viewers as possible. Right. Some viewers will come into my chat with the presumption that they can say whatever they like about whoever they like. And it really, really irritates me to see someone come in and start, publicly BMing or, bad mouthing another streamer or another public figure in my chat because, and they'll claim like, freedom of speech and like, yeah. And they'll be like, I can say whatever I like, and then they'll go off into somebody else's chat and be like, I was banned in Shadow's chat for no reason. Like, I can assure you. Yeah, I can assure you, I do not ban people for no reason. That would literally be counterintuitive to my job, right?
Yeah. It takes too much time. Like,
right?
It's it's not an easy decision to ban someone. So
yeah, because you're assuming
sometimes
losing a viewer off of that.
Right. Yeah, sometimes they make it real easy.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. So that just yeah.
and I find Smite, unlike League of Legends, I feel the community's been less BM and less angsty towards each other, and it has had kind of a nicer flow. So I'm glad you I'm glad you have that view.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, it's not even a sense that everyone has to get along. It's just that you don't have to go into somebody else's chat and try to cause more unnecessary drama. Yeah. So, and especially to think that you have the right to say that.
Yeah.
It's very silly.
Just a little legal constitution. I don't even know what you want to call it. Lesson for all the viewers. Freedom of speech has nothing to do with what you say in someone's channel. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely nothing. You're free to say it, but then they're free to ban you.
You're free to say whatever you want in your own channel, not in ours.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Do you find that a lot of that is like the eGr, anyone who's got a beef against eGr for whatever reason, now they come to your stream to do this stuff, and more so than other streamers?
Actually, what I found a lot of is since I'm related with eGr, I guess they wouldn't do that as much. What they do is, ever since I left Juice, everyone will come into my stream and be like, hey, man, I understand why you left Juice. Those guys are beep, beep, They will think that, now I'm like an enemy of Juice because I left. But, there's in no way any intention for me to, to cause any bad feelings between the group or anything. So yeah, that's just a misunderstanding by anybody that comes in with that kind of intention. And people will often be questioning why they got banned if they were, bad mouthing someone from Juice, like because I'm not part of it. But that's just how I am with any group. I don't want to see that kind of negativity.
Yeah. And speaking of eGr, I've got an idea, and this may have already been pitched to y'all, but how about you get a mascot, a beaver, and then all your fans can be eGr beavers.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Our first community clan, it was before we became like really official as a company and everything. Before we made a lot of the moves that we've made now, the first community clan that was started was called the eGr Beavers. So yeah,
there you go.
They definitely had the same thought as you. Yeah.
So I'm not original. I didn't think I was, but
maybe only
as a Canadian, I take offense to this. The beaver belongs to us.
That's true.
Well, y'all were lucky.
Some sort of issue, yeah.
I thought y'all had Mises or Mooses or
what?
No, we even have a beaver on a coin. Come on,
really?
Yes, we do. Our nickel has a beaver on it.
Oh man, there's so many jokes there that could get
us
in trouble.
Absolutely is. 5-cent beavers.
I'll bypass it. And the other call-in was basically about the Juice stuff, which you already answered, so I'm not even going to play it. We got lucky. We hit the right button.
Yeah.
And we're actually hitting up close to an hour, so this is working out perfectly. I do want to thank you for joining us for the show tonight. You've been an absolutely wonderful guest.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you for having me. I had a great time.
And before we head out, I do want everyone to know where they can find you everywhere. So everywhere's let the folks knows.
Okay, so twitch.tv/NShadow, as well as youtube.com/NShadow. Finally got my own little, they have a trial period on YouTube before you can get your own handle and stuff. Finally got that. Nice. I often forget to promote it because it's kind of a new medium for me. I've never really uploaded on YouTube, but one of my moderators actually got me into it, which is, it's so nice that some people are so generous and willing to help you and spend extra time really trying to make sure that I'm doing better for myself, which is crazy to me, right? Like it's so much dedication and just so much love, honestly. But yeah, so youtube.com/NShadow. Follow me there. I post videos daily. And of course, at my stream, like I said, twitch.tv/NShadow. I stream there every single day with very few exceptions. And then of Twitter. Twitter.com. How do you do Twitter? Twitter.com.
Yeah, Twitter.com.
At eGr NShadow.
Yep.
And it's on the screen, kind of. It's hard to tell with
much.
that font, but
oh yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And next week, do we have another guest next week, Ragin?
Next week is assuming that he's still on board. We have Frost, who does the top 5 plays Xbox edition, so that should be interesting. We haven't really had anyone who's in the Xbox community on the show yet, and Frost has started off in the PC community, but because he's doing the top plays now, he's starting to explore the Xbox side of it. So that'll be interesting to me, and I love those top 5 plays videos, both the one that Anuki does and then now the one that Frost does. They're both done very well, so I'm excited for that one.
Very cool. I am too. And as always, we're doing this weekly again, unless something happens and everybody gets sick on the same week like last week. So come back every Thursday about 7 p.m. Central right here, twitch.tv/OnSmite Podcast, and you can keep advised of everything on Twitter, on Smite Podcast, and our website on Smite Podcast. Go figure. We did good with that. Yeah. So thank you again so much, and we'll see y'all next week.
Nice job.
We have bumper bumpage.
Yeah, my fat fingers hit 2 things.